This one is bad.
Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, two of the greatest actors of all time, constantly compared, often considered for the same roles. The two of course starred in The Godfather Part 2 as father and son, but never shared screen time as their characters were in different timelines. It took more than 20 years for the duo to actually be cast in the same film together, and Michael Mann, in the prime of his career, delivered an urban crime classic in Heat, which pitted De Niro's bank robber trying to outwit Pacino's cop on the chase. The movie made full use of De Niro and Pacino's gravitas and off-screen reputations, using this to fuel the sense of rivalry and admiration between their characters. The entire film is pivoted around their relationship. Again, it would be more than 20 years before De Niro and Pacino shared the screen for a final time in Martin Scorsese's gangster film The Irishman, which was a swan song of sorts for the mafia movie genre, also bringing along screen legends like Joe Pesci and Harvey Keitel. I know this movie has its critics, but I think it's a great film, and at the very least it was an opportunity for all these legends to give one last great performance and to interact with each other on screen before they check out. It's not a bad trio of films at all, is it, for Pacino and De Niro to share, The Godfather 2, Heat and The Irishman. But we were all of us deceived, for another movie was made in 2008 by the name of Righteous Kill, starring De Niro and Pacino, as you can see from this poster where it looks like they're posing for a Chanel advert, playing detectives who go after a serial killer who targets criminals and leaves poems at the scene of the crime. Two other detectives begin to suspect that the loudmouth De Niro is actually the killer and try to go about proving it. You never hear people talk about this film, and with good reason. It was utter crap.
Here. You lick my balls anytime. You lick my balls anytime.
But at the same time, I remember it being a big deal that the two legends were pairing up for a film. Unlike Heat, where they only really had two scenes together, and even then, if you want to be pedantic, you could argue they never really looked like they were on screen together in Heat because of Mann's reverse shot cinematography style. And I remember conspiracy theories that they were never even on set together in Heat, with body doubles being used for the back of their heads. Anyway, the point I'm making here is that here is a movie that promised them engaging with each other throughout the film. After all, they're partners. And it was a mouth-watering prospect to envisage these two acting powerhouses bulldoze their way through a film together. But again, Righteous Kill is so poor, it feels like audiences have collectively forgotten it even exists. Even at 1 hour and 40 minutes, the movie is a dire slog to get through, devoid of energy, all building up to a twist-ending climax that really feels like cheating, given what happens in the film. Like, for example, the movie being framed around a supposed confession tape that De Niro's character is doing.
I've been a cop in the NYPD for over 30 years. In that time, I've killed 14 people.
Once everything is laid bare, the whole thing comes off as cheap. It feels like one of those movies you come across during a family emergency. You're up at 3 a.m. waiting for news from the hospital, flicking through the TV dangerously close to the naughty channels, and you're puzzled to discover that there's a cop movie playing that stars Bobby and Al. The novelty of seeing De Niro and Pacino team up wears off fast because they're in a film deeply mediocre, and even they knew it. They expressed embarrassment about working on this movie. Had it not been for them, this film would have been lost in a sea of low-level cop flicks. The only reason we're talking about it is because they're in it, and truth be told, it's not horrendously bad. It's just dire, and not worthy of the acting pedigree. But don't put these guys in your film then. Don't raise expectations if you know this is just going to be a below-average forgettable flick. I think this 5 seconds or so encapsulates the feeling of the film for those who haven't seen it.
Who? Nah, he's kidding around. But seriously, Lieutenant, how far do you want us to go with this Rambo murder?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe you'd investigate it a bit more, figure out who did it, try to put him in jail. That is, if it doesn't get in the way of your shuffleboard lessons.
Yeah, no problem.
That vibe you get, that we're all just here, we're doing a job, we're not really taking this seriously, there aren't really any stakes here. That's what the whole film feels like.
Call us anytime, you hear something. Anything.
And it devastated me when I first watched it, because As a huge fan, I'd been watching all sorts of crap De Niro and Pacino films throughout the 2000s, sticking by their output, hoping fruitlessly that these movies might be decent. But they were all awful, one after another, and Righteous Kill was the apex of this mediocrity. It cemented the idea in my head that even if they're together, both of them in a single film, and they can't put out a half-decent movie, then surely it's over for them, and I'm not going to get another good movie from these guys ever again. This is why I was holding out for The Irishman for about 10 years. It'll give you some perspective on why I admire the film so much. I didn't go into The Irishman off the back of films like Heat, like many people. I went in after years of watching movies like Red Lights and Jack and Jill. I wasn't even sure if De Niro and Pacino had it in them. And when The Irishman finally came out, they did indeed end up giving great performances in Scorsese's film. The main issues of Righteous Kill are the absence of any ambition, the poor script, and the awful dialogue.
Rooster, we gotta find out who did this.
Telling you right now, it's a cop, it's a cop, it's a cop.
It ain't a cop, it's a cop, it's a cop. Where do you come off saying it's a cop, it's a cop, it's a cop?
Harley.
Is it killing time? Or is he just killing time?
It feels old, tired, stale, and is directed by a hack journeyman.
And I'm saying it's bullshit.
But weirdly, De Niro and Pacino are part of the problem. For being lead detectives, they look embarrassingly old. And it's weird. They've looked younger in films they've made since. De Niro looks fat. And this is a guy who picked up Zac Efron on his back for marketing for Dirty Grandpa. There's a video of him jumping off a yacht into the sea at the age of 81. He's a fit guy. But he has this bloated look in the film, like he's just had a gluten allergy attack. Pacino is even worse, looking like he's just woken up, startled by the cameras and film crew around him, desperately in need of a nap. That, or that he's auditioning as a zombie corpse in a Dawn of the Dead remake. The cringe factor is high with this film because it feels like the duo are both having a senior life crisis, desperately trying to capture the magic of Heat but failing miserably. And rather than address the age thing, the movie elects to ignore it with hilarious results. These guys are retirement age, and yet the captain in cop movies is always older than the lead detectives, so they have to wheel out 70-year-old Brian Dennehy. They should have woven the actors' ages into the movie's plot, like that Jack Nicholson film The Pledge, where he's a cop investigating a murder but he's already retired. De Niro could have been approaching retirement, and then he calls in his old retired buddy and former genius cop Pacino to shadow his investigation or something, I don't know. The duo's detective rivals, played by John Leguizamo and Donnie Wahlberg, look like they could have been Pacino and De Niro's kids. De Niro is banging Carlo Gugino, who played his daughter in This Boy's Life. There's a cringe weightlifting scene where the duo are pumping iron with all these guys half their age. Pacino does half a setup before giving up. Grandpa De Niro starts fights at softball games with guys who would punch his pacemaker off, and Pacino's there in his leather jacket hanging out on his Harley chatting up girls. It just feels so off and desperate. They were wrong for the roles too. De Niro as the erratic loudmouth one, and Pacino as the smooth one doesn't quite work. It should have been the other way around.
It's gonna come back to you. What? You're gonna get it. When you walk outside, watch it back. Okay? Mutt, you fucking hate
Money, not now. You get him out of here before somebody passes a sentence on him you can't feel.
Screw my fucking heels. Screw my fucking heels. I'm gonna blow a fucking hole in that motherfucker Perez and blow right through his fucking head for putting me through this bullshit. Fuck, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker.
Calm down. What the hell is it?
Fucking Hingis. Fucking Hingis believed him. He actually fucking believed that motherfucker Perez.
Stay back. Wait.
Even their names are cringe. You can imagine the writers sitting around thinking, we'll call this one Turk, and this one will be called Rooster. Hey Turk, Rooster, I want to see you in my office.
Knock it off, Turk.
And why is De Niro Turk? Pacino looks like a Turk. Rooster fits De Niro more. Even the names are the wrong way around. There's a lot of scenes that jump from the actor to stunt double, and it reminded me of a sketch from Harry Hill's TV burp.
Give me the gun. Give me the here.
this is what happens when you work with a bottom-of-the-barrel director and accept any old script. The framing is so bad that this guy's nipple and armpit are the center of the frame here. It should have been so much better, so much more ambitious. 50 Cent is in this, by the way.
Hey, Stevie, why don't you go and escort our company up here?
What the hell did he just say? But I gotta give the guy credit. He gave us the best scene in the film where his dummy flies out of the window like Superman. It was like when Uncle Phil used to throw jazz out of the house in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Imagine if David Fincher had a crack at a hard-boiled detective movie with De Niro and Pacino in the lead roles cracking a case. That would have been something. The dialogue is so boring. The actors are coasting through it like they're embarrassed to even get the words out.
No felony, no felony. I can't believe this. No felony. How do you spell felony? Homicide, racketeering, drugs. I mean, what are we talking about?
Most people respect the badge. Everybody respects the gun.
De Niro here looks like he's practicing at a table read.
That was yesterday, Dave. Today you're pointing a gun at me.
It's hard to even know what the narrative pull of the film is supposed to be. We're on the tail of a serial killer, but we quote-unquote know who it is until, of course, the twist in the final 10 minutes. And it's not like we follow De Niro doing the killing and then mopping up. So what exactly are we supposed to be feeling during the first 1.5 hours of this movie? Who are we rooting for? The ending makes an already bad film even worse. It turns out that it was Pacino that was the killer. This confession tape that we've been seeing literally is just De Niro reading Pacino's diary out loud to a camera. Not even to set him up as the fall guy. I think it was just to have his story recorded for the record. It makes so much of the film ridiculous. Like, why earlier did De Niro threaten Carla Gugino and write her a poem? Why would you do that if you're trying to get people to think that you're not the killer? It's just manipulative and cheap from the filmmakers. There's no rhyme or rhythm to the victims. Why does he go after some criminals and not others? Why after De Niro is suddenly a suspect, does Pacino, who I gather is not trying to set up his partner, decides to kill a priest who was abusing De Niro years back? And the reason for the killing is worse than I remember. I remember thinking it was because Pacino cracked after years on the job and started going after people who had escaped conviction, dealing death wish style retribution. That would have been so-so, but acceptable. But it was literally that he used to look up to De Niro, who apparently was a great cop, and De Niro planted evidence at one point, and that made him lose faith.
You were the one I aspired to all my life and could never be. Then you broke the law. Planted the gun on Randall. Let me down. I lost my faith. That's when it all started. And once it did, I couldn't stop. Finally, I didn't want to.
But why would that turn you into a raging serial killing poet? It's ridiculous. And at the end, Pacino says he'll take the rap for one of the smaller charges, but then it appears he's trying to make a run for it, and then he just wants De Niro to kill him to end it all. It's just, whatever. So there you have it. What do you make of Righteous Kill? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what film you want me to review next, and thanks for watching.